Yo, what's up? What's up? What's up?
What's up, man? Here we go. We're getting better. We're getting better. Episode 5, I think, or episode 6. I'm not sure which one, but we're getting better. We're getting better. The sound is better.
Absolutely.
Not making any changes midway through. So, and you look like you're rested, man. Did you jump in that pool? What's going on with you, Professor T?
Yeah, I took me a little nap today. Hold on, let me get this thing switched over real quick though. But yeah, I took a little nap today. I got everything situated. I forgot that I like my buttons on this side. So, but no, outside of that, man, I'm excited, man. I'm ready to talk some boxing, some combat sports all together. It's a lot going on, bro.
Oh my goodness, bro. In fact, there's so much going on. And this is going to be a weird starter. All right. But did you see that report, bro, earlier today about Tim Tszyu's brother, who's training for a fight coming up next month? His name's Nikita Tszyu. Uh-huh. He's been drinking breast milk, bro, for the training. I just, come on. That's wild.
Yeah, that sounds wild to me. Yeah.
Hey, man, no hate, Nikita Tszyu. Like, we're not, we're not saying nothing, bro. We're just saying we're a little shocking for us Americans here. I don't know if that's a thing in Australia where you just be drinking breast milk during training camp, but in America we drink regular milk, bro.
Correct.
Oh,
correcto, sir. Correct.
And then again, man, I know this is more like pop culture news, but on TMZ today, Professor T, there's these two young, I guess, influencer ladies. Have no idea who the hell they are. The one girl's calling out the other girl, but my question to you is, because I'm not familiar with how all of these people make money.
Right.
She was offering this influencer girl $60 million to have a boxing match. How are influencers that are like in their 20s, that are just pretty girls, dude, able to make this money? 60 million?
Yeah, that sounds like a stretch.
I mean,
that sounds like a stretch, but man,
I'm like, shit. Maybe Professor T should come out and box.
Exactly. Get me out there. Put me in, coach.
Shit. Yeah. Oh, my God. I'll be happy to be on that corner. My 10% is going to look pretty good.
Yeah.
I'll take it. I'll coach the hell out of turf, too.
Man. It'll be serious out there.
Oh, man. But anyways, those are two pop culture things. Let's start with the biggest news of the week on Monday, which was the UFC, bro, signed a $7.7 billion. That's with a B, y'all. $1 billion deal with CBS, not CBS Sports Network, regular ass CBS, where they show Matlock, CBS, and Paramount Plus. Now, and the reason why Paramount Plus and CBS did it, bro, is starting 2026, 43 UFC events. Yeah. All the regular ones we've been paying about $1,200 a year for will now be 100% free.
Hey, yeah, that's wild.
Wild, man. Wild. And you know where I think they're going to get the money, Turf? And I've been saying this for a long time. I've been saying, why don't they just go back to the old format back in the 80s where remember how Sugar Ray Leonard was able to build himself up? It was commercial ad buys and it was investors and everything, right? Yep. So their big Super Bowl for the UFC next year is July 4th, UFC White House, bro. That's already a thing.
Right, that's a big deal. That's a big fight.
Now I don't even like honestly, you don't have to be a expert of MMA to want to just tune into that.
No,
because it'll be a global event. It'll be like there will be people in other countries who will be watching it that whether they like MMA, hate MMA, there's going to be political people that'll be watching it, going, "Look at this crazy motherfucker putting you know what I mean?" But what all I'm saying is, the TV ratings for this, and quote me now, will be greater than the Super Bowl. It will be bigger than the Super Bowl because it's on July 4th. It's the 250th anniversary of Independence Day. And it's the first time we're ever going to see a combat fight happening on the White House lawn. Bro, come on.
It's going to be fire. It's going to be an excellent show, I think.
And free on CBS.
Right.
This is like watching college football or like the national championship. It's just free on CBS. Like watching the Final Four, man. You know what I mean? Like, this is crazy. And then they're showing clips like Conor McGregor training right now. You know,
that. I'm wondering who the hell is he gonna fight? Like,
bro, do not be surprised that because this is a special UFC White House event, man, he's gonna bring everyone back, bro. I'll make you a prediction right now. I'll guarantee you that somehow Ronda Rousey will end up on that card.
Oh, absolutely. Everybody.
And we haven't seen Ronda Rousey in forever, bro, but she'll end up on that card.
Everybody will.
If you were ever a mainstream name, John Jones, you know what I'm saying? If you were ever a mainstream name, your ass is ending up on that card.
Be the who's who of MMA.
Yeah, they will bring back people who have already made the Hall of Fame. Like,
right. Exactly.
You know, Chuck Liddell will do something. You know what I mean?
Correct.
He'll be coaching. He'll be doing a speech. He'll be doing something, man. Like. They're bringing the whole branding down, and this is all. And I say that to say that because it will be free TV, like boxing used to be for when you and I were growing up, Professor T, right?
Yep.
MMA is still a growing sport. It's still a growing sport. It's still not. You guys have to understand that MMA, in all honesty, and this is no knock on the sport I'm about to say, okay? Right. But MMA, in all honesty, is closer to hockey. And I say that in the sense that a casual person can't just watch a hockey game. Right. They have to kind of want it. They have to be invested in one way or another. But it's hard to even know what's going on. Can I say that fairly?
No,
right, I okay. It's not like, oh, okay, football. They're throwing the ball. They're hitting each other. Right. Basketball. Okay, they're dribbling it and they're shooting it. Baseball, okay, there's a guy with a bat, there's a guy with hockey is complicated. It's like, okay, so it's guys wearing pads and there's a stick and that flat thing, I guess, and it's supposed to go in the net, but why does it take so long? And why is the score only, 1-0 and it's already going to the third period? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's a harder sport to watch casually. Not that it's not a fun sport to watch. I'm not even saying that. So the reason why I compare MMA is closer to hockey is because it's not like you have to kind of sort of know what grappling is. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think the everyday American wakes up understanding what grappling is. No. Right? And certainly I don't think the everyday American grew up in a household where there's a cage in the backyard and you can just jump in the cage and roll around with your dad. Right? Okay, so again, I'm not. So I say that to say that now that it will be free, imagine your kids, right? And I know you don't want me to say that about your baby girl yet, but I'm just saying, like, when she's old enough, okay, after she's done watching Love Island 10 years from now, you know what I'm saying, right? That her kids are gonna get to watch this combat sports called mixed martial arts in the United States of America, Professor T, for free on regular TV. That's insane. To me, that's insane. That's because again, when we were growing up, right, like for the most part, in an American household, Professor T, what is considered the fighting art when you're growing up in any state? You learn how to do what? You learn how to box.
Yeah, absolutely.
Box, play box. You tag box, but you learn how to box
Mhm.
because boxing is the American art of it. Like if kung fu is China and karate is Japan,
Right.
and jiu-jitsu is Japan / Brazil, then boxing, bro, is America.
Right.
That's America, man. That's what Gervonta Davis, Shakur Stevenson. They didn't grow up learning karate, bro. They learned, you know what I mean? Like they were slap boxing each other in the yard, man. Like that's so that's what I'm saying is that it's still the most translatable sport is still boxing, no matter what. And I don't want to act like the next thing I'm going to say is something I invented. I heard Max Kellerman say this. So Max Kellerman said, if we went to a playground yard, Professor T, and there was some basketball going on one side with some really great athletes, and there's some football happening on another side with some really great athletes, and there's some baseball happening on another side with some really great athletes, and then there's a fight happening on the tennis court. Where is everyone going to go to watch something? They're going to go watch a fight because boxing and fighting is still the most popular thing to watch.
100%.
So at the end of the day, that's why now it's going to turn. What we got used to over the last, let's say, 20 years is big fight events. Now people are just going to get used to regular ass every weekend fight events. Like that's just normal. Like, oh yeah, Saturday there's some college football, and at night we're going to go watch some UFC. You know what I'm saying? Like it'll just become a normal thing, right? And you have to remember too, there's no season. That's what's crazy, right? There's no it's every week. That's 52 weeks. So you're gonna watch some college basketball, and then there's UFC. You're gonna watch some college football, and then there's UFC. Right. You're gonna watch a movie. You're gonna watch Matlock, and then there's UFC. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy, man. It'll be crazy. I thought that was big news, man. But now you're in that world. You're black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. You've trained with the Rabati brothers. You did the Muay Thai. Overall, though, like think of it yourself in Texas, regular American household. Is your son who's a gamer and into playing games and Twitch and all that? Is he gonna watch UFC as he's growing up? You think now that it's free?
I don't know. That's a good question. I would say as of right now, probably not, man.
Okay.
And the only reason being is just because they're so tied into the other things that they're doing.
Right.
You know what I mean? Bottom line, football is still king, even over track, right? All these other things.
Of course.
So it's going to take some time for that to change, especially because the other obvious part, which is the money, which that is changing.
Right.
The money is definitely changing. But so is it in other sports. I mean, I think you already see the writing on the wall that the NFL is going to become a little bit more guaranteed. I don't know how they work out the logistics, right? Because of injury, right, et cetera. But it's definitely going in the right direction.
Right.
And I agree with y'all. Like, now, will my kids watch?
Yes.
Oh, God, yes. And it'll probably be a pastime, if you will. You know what I mean? Like it'll just be something naturally that everyone does. Kind of like how karate used to be. If you remember,
yes, sir.
I went to karate growing up.
So. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, man, you're absolutely right. Like you already know, everybody wanted to learn karate in the 70s, bro.
Correct.
Oh my gosh.
Bruce Lee and USA Kung Fu.
Oh,
it's just
man. Remember, this is the knockout canvas, so me and Professor T get to talk about stuff like this. But remember them old Chinese kung fu movies I used to, you know what I'm saying? Right? Growing up with the dubbed voices, bro. That's the entire Wu-Tang Clan. That was their, that was what gave them inspiration. Exactly. You know what I'm saying?
No, absolutely. Absolutely right, man. Yeah.
Man.
It's, like he said, it's what I grew up on, man. It will always be something that I'm always gonna watch.
Right.
Right. There's no way. Like, if it's on, I'm watching it, man.
And that makes sense to you too, right, Professor T? That each television program has advertising. So that's where you're going to see like whatever, Progressive, State Farm, all the regular old commercials, right?
Correct. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. Man, we got a lot of people on tonight, man.
Oh, go ahead, bro.
We got a good showing. It's weird though because I don't see a whole lot of people in the chat, so I don't know if it's on me or not. I know we got over 40 people though. Shout out to all the people, and this is on YouTube. So,
wow,
awesome! Yeah, we already have 200 views for the stream, man. So this is
we really appreciate you guys. And again, we're just starting this out. This is episode 5 or episode 6. I'm already losing count, but it's very, very early. We're getting our tech together, so we appreciate all of you guys. I see Obed Perez. Thank you, bro. I appreciate you. So yeah. No, and Obed, we'll talk about Haney. In fact, since Obed's asking about it already. Now Haney Norman's not until November, and we got a lot to cover today. But I was gonna wait till Severe gets here because how Severe he likes his takes. But I'll get your take now, Haney Norman, real quick. Who that's November 22nd for the WBO 147-pound title. That, by the way, is free. That's free. So yes. If you own DAZN, no pay-per-view. That's completely free. That's the card that has David Benavidez versus Anthony Yarde. Bam Rodriguez fighting another unification title with Puma Martinez. Devin Haney versus Brian Norman. Oh, I meant to tell you this, Professor T. Your boy, Artur Beterbiev is on the undercard. He's fighting an American. Yeah, he's fighting an American named Dion Nicholson on that card. And here's what's going to happen. The winner, as long as Beterbiev wins and Benavidez wins,
right?
Benavidez Beterbiev 2026.
Hey, I like it.
That's a banger of a fight, man. They're not gonna need a lot of room in that fight because those two, neither one of those two back up.
They're fighting in the phone booth. Yeah, that's a phone booth fight right there.
Yeah, that's a phone booth fight. That's an old school. That might be our version of Hagler Hearns, bro.
Yes, 100%.
Those two guys that, man, a high knockout percentage. They're just both bangers, right? So, hey, man. But anyway, all right. So Haney Norman, I've given my perspective on a few shows. I was on Claymore Range show, ATP Combat Sports Media. I was on the Hangout Spot with Johnny. That's always a really good show too.
Right.
I've been on Marco Boxing. I've been on that show, and we talked about it.
I like Marco, man.
Yeah, Marco's a good dude. I was with him this morning, actually. So, but yeah, no. Check this out. So I can make an argument for both on who's going to win, Obed. I can make an argument for both because I'm just analytical that way. But in my heart of hearts, I'm liking him more and more. He gives me a very humble country vibe, right? And so this isn't me not liking Haney. This is just me saying, I would like, I like the 24-year-old Brian Norman and see what the kid could do. And I say that to say that Haney is his toughest test. I think anyone who thinks Haney's going to be easy has lost their mind. Haney was a pound for pound fighter just in January. All right. He was pound for pound number 10 in the Ring magazine. So anyone who thinks that's going to be an easy fight has lost their minds. It's going to be a very tough fight. And if you're betting, then come back to the knockout canvas and Professor T and myself will give you a breakdown on how to bet correctly. But yeah, no, I mean, I guess I would say my heart, it would be probably with Norman, but my money,
right.
I'm gonna wait for the odds, man. If there's some crazy odds that says plus 400 against Haney,
right,
I'm putting money on Haney, man, because that's insane. You can't do that. Haney's too good. But what's your take, Professor T? Sorry.
It's the exact same. Haney is absolutely too good. Really quick, before I go into that, I want to make sure I holler at all the people in the building. Algieri 94, watching in Australia, broski. All right, that's a wild time. Actually, yeah, it's probably morning for you, something like that. It's getting close, but appreciate you for coming through. Hope you enjoy the show. As always, we got Sam Tonka in the building. Salute Turf. Salute Angelo. Then we got one other guy, Gramay McKelvey. Norman whitewashes Haney. We appreciate y'all for coming through, man. Hope y'all enjoy the show. Man, I think we finally got all these, technical difficulties, if you will. I mean, knock on wood. All cleared up, man. I think I got everything going.
All right. Cool.
So shout out to everybody on X, Instagram, TikTok. We got TikTok people on. All of you guys. Welcome to the show.
I love the X people.
Absolutely.
So, Grammy McKelvey saying that because Haney's chinny, and he might be past his best. And
right.
my only pushback to that maybe is he's only 26.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
He's still young, way young.
Is he past this? I don't think so. I think he's still young. Like, we don't even know if he's peaked yet. 147 might be his, maybe he'll peak at 47. I don't know. That's what makes this fight so interesting. So no. But you're right though. Like, again, Professor T, it's hard to call, right? Like, our show doesn't hate on indie fighters. That's not the way our show is designed. We're going to give you an analytical look at things, and then we'll let you make a decision. And if you're rocking with Haney, we can definitely give you a good debate on why Haney would win. And if you're rocking with Norman, we could explain it that way. And that's what we want. We want people to rock with their it's like, just like in our Raider shows at the Ultimate Raider Fan 32, like, you don't have to be a Raider fan. You could call in fact, let me just say this real quick as a football thing. We're saying our team sucks, by the way.
Exactly. Yeah,
we and Professor T are already predicting. He thinks we're only going to win 5 games. I think we're only going to win 6 games. So we're realists on the knockout canvas. We're not.
Absolutely.
We're not going to try to tell you something that's not true. So no, that's funny. But anyways, all right. So let's get to this one. In other news, Canelo Crawford's coming up. They announced the undercards, and everybody went wild, right?
Yeah.
People going, this sucks. What kind of undercard is this?
Yeah.
So I'd like to give perspective again to everyone to please calm down. In fact, a couple of days ago when Zuffa announced it, Professor T, I went on their Instagram to defend them.
Right.
I was like, can everyone relax? They're just showing us who has signed the contract.
Right.
They're not telling us everyone that's on the undercard yet because they have to wait for contracts to be signed.
Correct.
And again, if you're not paying attention to what's happening in the state of combat sports in the United States, then please come to the knockout canvas so we can explain it to you. Exactly. All right? Remember that Turkey Al Sheikh made a deal to pay $10 million a year to Zuffa Boxing and Dana White and the TKO group to be in charge of American boxing. They wanted the American events, okay? Now, if you've been paying attention, Dana White and the TKO group has been busy closing a $7.7 billion deal for CBS and the UFC. They've been busy, y'all.
It's crazy.
They literally, Dana White yesterday here at the Apex, Professor T was like, honestly, man, I can't answer you about the undercards that's going to happen on Friday night, September 12th, because I've been really busy, so let me get into that. So he already hinted that there's going to be a bunch of undercards on the Friday. All right, so relax. Everyone relax, okay? All I can tell you is what we see with our eyes, all right? So I gave this example. Professor T, when we've watched the UFC event, right? Is it normally only 4 fights? Or does it end up being 18 fights? Because there's 3 fight cards in the early prelims, and then there's 5 fight cards in the regular prelims, and then there's 5 fight cards on the main event card, right? Like, relax, everyone. Okay, that Saturday will probably have at least 10 fights in it. At least 10. Okay, and then or they'll do like 8 on Saturday and then 8 on Friday. You know what I'm saying? Like, relax. Everyone, pump the brake. Okay, everybody relax. There's going to be plenty of fights for everybody to see. All right, before you go start shitting on it. Secondly, I'll boldly say it. Dana White is the best combat sports promoter when it comes to live sporting events. Because if you've ever been to a boxing match versus you've ever been to a UFC match, okay? And I'm talking about America again, all right? So I'm not talking about Australia where everybody there loves fight sports and they'll actually show up for the first fight. I'm not talking about the UK where it's stadium fights, right? And people are already drinking, around the first, second fight, right? I'm talking about in the United States where you and me, who are both American, Professor T, we can honestly say that when we've gone to boxing cards, other than you and I who love boxing,
right,
most of the people aren't there until probably the co-main event.
I was gonna say at best. I mean, the stadium or venue, it's definitely small. I mean, people only really kind of show up for the main event. That's just
right. Now you and I, who both have been to UFC fights, also, it's a completely different feel.
Yeah,
because you show up at a UFC event at 3 p.m. That stadium's at least half full already. Right? Because everybody's watching their fighters. Everybody's watching everyone else. So I say that to say that if the guy that's in charge of putting this fight card together and doing the live event together in a stadium is Dana White,
right,
and you already know how he does UFC, what makes you think that the undercard is only the ones they just announced right now?
Right. Nah, it's going to be some fire.
Come on now. Yeah, come on. Stop it, guys. Stop it. All right. Okay. Now, secondly, just like what we always do here at the Knockout Canvas, if I have some insider info that I'm not going to divulge to you who I know, but so far since episode 2, the predictions I've made have been correct. Have they not been, Professor T? Yeah. Did I not tell you that Gervonta Davis was going to retire way before this news even came out? All right. So I have some sources. It's looking like the Cuban standout, who is the number 1 ranked WBA 160 pounder right now. He's a killer too, man. This guy's awesome. He's also the ranked number 2, I believe, WBC 160 pound, and the ranked number 5 IBF 160 pound. His name is Yoenli Yo-Yo Diablo Hernandez. Okay.
Yeah.
He's badass, Turf. He's badass. 8-0. I forgot how many knockouts he has. I think he might have 5. This guy's a killer, though. All right. Yeah. Great amateur background. He's currently right now one of the main sparring partners for Canelo Alvarez. So a little insider there for you guys. I was just talking to some people. I don't want to say who. I've been talking to some people. Okay. And looking like he's going to be on the undercard. Let me just say that. In fact, I'll just make it as a prediction on our show, but I was not told this. Okay. I was not told this. This is Angelo Reyes giving you a prediction on his own, having no information at all, just guessing.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
Guesstimate.
Okay. It's a guesstimate. But if I'm reading the tea leaves correctly,
right,
I believe we're going to see a WBA or a WBC, or not WBC, WBA, or maybe an IBF interim belt.
Hey,
maybe a WBA or an IBF interim belt between Yoenli Hernandez and someone. I don't know who the someone will be, but now now I'm going to go even deeper for you. Okay, you want me to go deep? I'm going to go deep. Okay, I think because it's an easy contract or an easier contract to make, I think you might have a WBA interim 160-pound world title between Yoeli Hernandez and Shane Mosley Jr.
What? I like that. I like that.
Because right now, if you look at the rankings, Yoeli Hernandez is number 1 in the WBA. Shane Mosley Jr. is number 2 in the WBA. Shane Mosley Jr. hasn't fought in almost a year and a half. So, and Shane Mosley Jr. is not exactly tied down to like a Golden Boy Promotions or, so easier fight to make on Netflix. Like, why would you turn down fighting in front of Netflix? Right?
I agree.
If Shane Mosley Jr. beats this Cuban guy, all of a sudden people are going to go, oh, that's the son of a legend, right?
Right. Oh, absolutely.
The Cuban guy beats Shane Mosley Jr. They're going to say, oh my God, this Cuban guy just beat a son of a legend. Like, it's a good name. It's a good name to have. It's a good title fight to have. So I'm just going to throw that out there. And if I'm correct, I don't know, by next Wednesday, can we say that prediction 2 came through? So I keep my ear to the ground, y'all. I keep my ear to the ground. But man, so far,
let me just tag in.
Oh, go ahead.
People that's on TikTok, just to make sure, man. We got Raider Mike 27 in the building. We got Crazy Card Pulls that just joined, man. We got J Sal 03 in the building. We got Isaac Aviles that's joined. We got Mamba 824. We got Apt 1961. Joseph Finley is in the building. Appreciate you for coming through. Krieg Z 523. Shelly GOVG, and last but not least, man, Jeremiah Gonzalez. Man, and then Pair of the Dice just snuck up in there. Appreciate y'all for coming through. Don't forget, hit that like button. Mosey on over to YouTube, right? For all you X people, Twitch, all of the platforms. Go on over to YouTube and please subscribe. Even hit that notification button. That way you don't ever miss when we come on, because eventually Turf's going to get it. Well, Professor T on this show is going to get it together, and we will be live fight watching on a regular basis. I mean, for one, the views are amazing. I don't know if I told you, we got like 4,000 or 5,000 views for that watch party out there.
Yes.
It was crazy. It was crazy.
No, I love it. I'm sorry I couldn't make it. As you know, I was with family. And we believe on the knockout canvas as always, family first, right? Family first on everything.
Correct. But man, people are tuning in, man. People want to see and people want to hear what's going on with the world of boxing from some people that know what's going on. So yeah.
Absolutely. So let's talk about this undercard again for everyone around the world who's going to get a chance to watch it on Netflix for free. 300 million subscribers. The first set of undercards they just announced to you, relax everyone, that's not the full undercards. That is not the full undercards. You will be hearing a lot more before this week is even over. Okay?
Right.
That's number one. In the United States, if you are an American casual fan, the NFL will be doing advertisement for Canelo Crawford as the season begins. So you'll probably start to see it by the last week of preseason, okay? Heading into the first week. Now, think about that for a second. First Thursday night game, all right? First Friday night game for Brazil, the Chiefs versus Green Bay or something. I forgot already. And then, the first Sunday game. Come on. And then they're going to be talking about Canelo Crawford. Come on. All right. For anyone who, when I went on all these great other boxing podcasts, who called me crazy when I said Canelo Crawford will not only at least hit the same numbers that Tyson Paul did.
Right.
They're going to surpass it.
Yeah.
They're going to surpass it.
I can believe it. Yeah. I'm with you.
Too much advertising. Just too much advertising. All right. And if they're going to do like a Netflix 2-day event, okay, imagine a Netflix 2-day event. Imagine a Netflix 3-day event, right? You know what I'm saying? Like if they start doing that, like Netflix and WWE, I've seen it before where they were showing the promotions for Canelo Crawford on the WWE YouTube and social media pages. I've seen them do it on the UFC pages.
Right.
So come on, man. You already know. This is gonna get pumped up way too high. So right off the grip, Professor T, right now, I think the best, most violently competitive fight that they announced is the WBC interim 168-pound killer from Canada, who is also Haitian, I believe. His name is Christian Mbili.
Yeah.
He's a killer. He's a killer.
He's
all right. He's fighting the Canelo prototype that Terence Crawford has been building up, named Lester Martinez from Guatemala.
Yep.
That's a violent fight. That's a violent fight.
Fire.
I mean, if you know boxing like we do here at the Knockout Canvas, that is a very violent fight. And if you like that type of violence, then that's Christian Mbili versus Lester Martinez, y'all. And if you don't know who Lester Martinez is, go to YouTube now or after the show, type in Lester Martinez highlights, and you're going to be like, damn, this guy looks like Canelo.
You will not be disappointed. You will not be disappointed. Shout out
that
to
fight got announced
in the building, man. I'm from India. Well, we appreciate you for coming through, Ed Hunter. And hope you enjoy the show, man. I know it's definitely a wild hour for you, man. We got Gucci Flamingo in the building. Bobby Lee. And last but not least, man, my main man, Sam Tonka in the building. I forget Sam is a big-time boxing fan.
Oh, hey, Sam.
Canelo will be close to Mayweather, Pac-Man.
I think he'll surpass it because it's free.
I think so too.
I think he'll surpass it because it's free. The fact that it's free makes it wild. We haven't seen, because even Hagler Leonard wasn't free. That was pay-per-view.
Right.
So
I do have to get on you. Shout out to the commenter. I think it was a TikTok person, but yeah, he clowned us, and it was a good clown.
Okay,
it was a good one. He said, "We've gotten so stupid that we think that paying for Netflix and getting a boxing match on there is free."
That's true.
That's fair.
Hey, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
Netflix.
Okay, but my only pushback to it is having a membership that's only costing me, I believe, $8. Is a lot better than paying $100, which is what we paid for Pacquiao Mayweather
for one night.
For one night. All right. At least I get to watch some movies too for my Netflix, and I get to watch replays, and I get to watch the Raiders. By the way, is going to be doing a whole reality TV series or something like that over at Netflix.
Yeah.
So they're doing the Cowboys first. Boo. The Cowboys first, but then the Raiders are coming up. So yeah. Hey, by the way, just a real quick footnote. Did you know that Denzel Washington was a Cowboy fan? Because I did not know that until this week.
I did. I saw. Yep.
Man, I thought that was cold to see Denzel look at a camera and say, there's Oscars. Right? I was like, that's cold. He just made fun of the entire Cowboy organization, bro.
Organization with the head man at the top to start.
Wow. So anyways, all right. So back to this. So the other one that I found interesting was King Calum Walsh, who is the 14-0 undefeated Irishman who the UFC Fight Pass has helped become popular. And he's a pretty popular guy to the Irish community. Yeah. He's fighting Fernando Vargas Jr.
Ooh,
now that's interesting because remember the Fernando Vargas, the three kids that fight for from the legend Fernando Vargas is Amado with the curly hair. He's like a lighter weight, and then the one that looks exactly like Fernando Vargas is the kid that Top Rank has, the 140-pound killer, right? Yeah. And then there's the firstborn son, Fernando Vargas Jr.
Yeah,
he's the bigger kid. I think he's like 160 or 154 or something like that. But he's fighting Caleb Walsh. And again, I say that to say that Turkey Al Sheikh, who's funding the Canelo Crawford event, he told us he wasn't going to put major names on the undercard. Right. What he's going to do on the undercard is introduce all these up-and-coming fighters to the Netflix viewership. So if you've never heard of Christian Mabili before, now you're going to see him. If you've never heard of Lester Martinez before, now you're going to see him. If you've never heard of Fernando Vargas Jr. before, now you're going to see him. If you've never heard of King Caleb Walsh before, now you're going to see him. Like, that's what he's doing. That's what, expect the undercard to be people like. And another one that I'm hearing, I'm just, again, man, I'm not trying to break nobody's NDA clauses here. I'm not trying to get any managers in trouble. All right. Okay. I'm not trying to get any coaches in trouble, but another one that I'm hearing, y'all, if you are an American fan and if you're familiar with OTX boxing from Atlanta, Overtime Boxing in Atlanta, there's a football player who developed as a very good boxer. He was a former running back, went into boxing instead of going in pursuing an NFL career. This kid, I believe, is undefeated. Good power punching, 140, 135 pounder by the name of Kurt Scooby.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I know where he's training right now. Okay. And I've heard rumbles. I'm just saying, I've heard rumbles that we might see this kid on the undercard of Canelo Crawford. I'm just going to throw it out there. So if you see Kurt Scooby, those are the type of names you guys can expect, right? So the hardcore boxing fans are going to know these guys like you and me, Professor T, and we're going to be happy to see them. And the casual fans who don't know anything about boxing, that's okay. You're just going to be entertained. You're going to get to know some new names, all right? And you're going to be entertained. So that's one of the other names that I want to throw out. And then the one that they announced, and this is how interesting this is, by the way, and this will segue us to the next segment.
Yeah.
Muhammad Al-Akel, who is the 18-year-old Saudi kid that Turkey Al Sheikh is building up, will be making an American 10-round fight on the undercard of Canelo Crawford. Now, here's what makes that interesting. He's fighting this Saturday in Riyadh, Professor T. So that's what I'm saying. It's like anything is possible here, because if you got a kid who's already on a poster of Canelo Crawford, but he's fighting this Saturday, I mean, we don't know. Like, if he gets cut, he might not fight, right? Correct. If he doesn't get hurt, then he will fight, right?
Correct.
Which leads me to my question, Professor T. Since Turkey Al Sheikh has taken over from November of 2023, really September of 2023 to now, it's been about 24 months.
Right.
You've noticed that he's doing these crazy schedules where a fight is set and then he's already booking another fight for the fighter.
Correct.
If you notice, he's making it almost like an NFL schedule. I've talked to a lot of people who don't like that, but what are your thoughts on it? Do you like it when fighters know that they are going to fight on this day and then a few months later on this day, or do you not like it?
I will not only do I like it, I absolutely love it. I adore it. I think fighters should be busy, particularly young fighters. That's the old days of how things were done. And I think you see people have a better game. They progress better. They just naturally become better overall. I mean, right? It's just, there's no way around hard work and dedication, ladies and gentlemen. The more fights you have, the better you're going to be. The more styles you see, etc. So yes, absolutely love the fact that they're fighting more, letting them know they can be prepared and stay in shape, man. You know what I mean? Stay in shape the whole time.
You're not one of the people who say it kind of ruins it, like what happened to Haney and Garcia, where they already knew that they were supposed to fight each other, so they ended up both not looking great on the May 4th event in Times Square.
Nope. I mean, if anything, all it's doing is setting you up, is helping the underdog out, right? Because now the underdog can, lean on that whole scenario of this dude is overlooking me, man, and you know what I mean? Come into that fight with a real serious chip on his shoulder and something to prove based on the fact that he probably truly feels the guy's overlooking him. So
Right. No, I like that. I like that too, because you're right. I think what Riyadh season has done over the last 2 years is it's actually made what used to be called the B side. It's made the B side fighters fight a lot harder, and we're seeing a lot more upsets, and people are starting to realize that America is no longer the number one country for boxing. It is global now. There are pockets and parts of the whole global world. One of the best prospects. I'm not going to call him because he hasn't made it all the way yet, but Nishant Dev from India. I've heard. Again, I'm not breaking any NDAs here. I've heard he's going to be on the undercard. Nishant Dev from India. And Nishant Dev, I've shown you him before. 154 pounds. He was an Olympian that lost to Omari Jones. But this kid is like the Indian Oscar de la Hoya, man. This kid's got all the total package. And imagine that. All right, let's just talk about India.
Right.
If this kid fights on Netflix, how many people in India are going to tune into Netflix?
Nah, it's going to be through the roof.
So that's what I'm saying is that you just, again, you never know until this whole thing and all the announcements are done. But the fact that there's a fighter fighting this Saturday that has already been assigned to also fight September 13th tells you that anything is possible. I'm Jarrell Miller right now. Big Baby Miller is supposed to be fighting on that card, but we need to hear who the opponent is. Sergey Bohacek, the Ukrainian, he's supposed to be fighting on the card, right? And we don't know who his opponent yet. So there's going to be a lot of names that's going to be coming up. So everyone relax, man. If you're not happy with the undercard yet, wait till like Friday. Okay, you only got to wait a few more days. Dana White was busy locking up UFC White House and doing all kinds of stuff. So relax, everybody, relax. All right. So with that said, speaking of this Saturday, now I know if you're a Raider fan, you're all into the preseason Raider versus 49ers. If me and Professor T are being honest, we already kind of know what that's going to look like. So there's a huge boxing event happening in Riyadh this Saturday, starting at 10 a.m. in the morning here in Las Vegas, noon where Professor T is at in Texas. So it starts noon your time, Professor T. And that is the esports global event. So esports championships is happening in Riyadh right now. Okay. Check this out, Professor T. Esports makes so much money, bro.
Right.
That their halftime show is the boxing card.
Jesus Christ.
That's kind of crazy. All right. So I don't know if your son is into esports, but he's probably going, "Hey, Dad, did you know there's a boxing match happening on Saturday?" Because they're pumping it out to the esports people, right? And I think the reason why they're doing that is because the big star, the main event, Moses Ituma, I don't know how to pronounce it. Different people pronounce it different ways. 20 years old. This guy is being touted as the next Mike Tyson.
That's wild.
Now he's good. He's very good. He's 6'5", 250 pounds of muscle. All right. He's fast. Okay. He looks good.
Right.
He's quick. But he's in for a pretty tough fight because he's fighting Dillian White in the main event. And Dillian White's only lost to 3 people. He lost to Tyson Fury. He lost to Anthony Joshua. And when he lost to Povetkin, he rematched and knocked Povetkin out. So really, he's only lost to 2 people.
Right.
Okay. He's only lost to Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury. So this dude ain't a walk in the park, man. This is a big step up. But they're saying if Moses Ituma does a job on Dillian White,
right,
he's the next one that's supposed to fight Usyk. So now let me get your take on that.
That would be wild. I don't think he's ready for Usyk. You know what I mean? I don't know. How many more fights does Usyk have, though, do you think? How old is Usyk?
Well, Usyk himself said he will only have one more fight.
Yeah,
that's from him.
Yeah.
Okay. But, man, he just got paid $170 million. So I don't know. You tell me. Okay. Because, I mean, I would suspect he'll definitely fight at least one more. But we'll see, because if this kid is supposed to be the next Mike Tyson, then I guess you got to beat the man, right? Be the man.
Beat the man.
You got to beat the man, right? And remember that the way Mike Tyson had to become undisputed, because Mike Tyson's claim to fame is he's the youngest heavyweight champion ever, right? He beat Muhammad Ali by a few months.
Right.
Okay, because remember, Ali beat Sonny Liston, and that was the big shocker. He was 21 years old in so many months. When Mike Tyson beat Trevor Berbick, then he was 20 years old in a few months or something like that, right? So, anyways,
so we do have a question, and I try to get this thing put up there eventually, but Iceman MMA in the building. You guys watch UFC at all?
Oh yeah, we started the whole segment, brother. Iceman MMA. We started the whole segment with UFC and Dana White and the whole bit. And not only do we watch it, you got a bona fide guy right there, Professor T, who's a black belt in jiu-jitsu. He's with Team Rabati. Help me out, Turf, on the UFC 1 jiu-jitsu event. Yeah. Who were the two kids you were training with that just won a belt?
The Tackett's, man. The Tackett brothers. Andrew and William Tackett. Andrew is currently, I want to say, the welterweight champ, or whatever they call his division. It's the only one, I think, that currently has been belted. But yeah, they even got a younger brother. Little Caleb, man, that whole family is just absolutely dangerous. But absolutely, we 100% watch MMA, UFC, a lot of the other promotions too, man. I got a lot of guys that I've trained with that fight in the lower promotions down in Houston, right, Dallas, San Antonio, all over. So Yes, Ice, man, and I'm sorry I couldn't put that up, man. I don't know what's wrong with my
No, it's a good question, Iceman MMA, and like we were talking about earlier on the show, this is just episode 5, so we're just starting out. But the Knockout Canvas is an all-combat sports show. We talk about karate, we talk about UFC jiu-jitsu. We will talk about what, but of course we're focused right now on boxing,
right?
Because of the Canelo Crawford. There's a Moses Itama fight, but later on we'll be talking about the Chimaev fight. Dricus du Plessis is fighting Khamzat Chimaev, UFC 319 this Saturday. But I was gonna segue to that. You're getting ahead of me, Iceman. I was gonna segue to it. So anyways. As I was saying, Professor T, our Raiders, we already know what's going to happen. So why in the world would we be wasting our time watching that? So with that said, we have the Moses Itama fight that starts at noon Texas time, 10 a.m. Pacific time. And that event is in the middle of esports global gaming championships. If Moses Itama does it, the first rumor is that he's supposed to get a chance to fight Usyk. Now I'm going to throw something crazy at you. Okay, I'm going to throw something crazy. I've been on the other boxing shows, and they think I'm crazy for saying this, but I think I'm not crazy. Right. Moses Itama, if he comes out of this fight on Saturday against Dillian White, and he doesn't get hurt at all, no head trauma. No cuts in the face.
Yeah.
No muscle strains. I think he's going to be on the undercard of Canelo Crawford.
Hey, that'd be wild. That would be wild.
Now, how do you make someone the next Mike Tyson? How do you make him the next Mike Tyson? You put him in front of 300 million global subscribers. That's how you do
it. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
Now imagine this, and this is where everybody thinks I'm really crazy. Imagine if he fights Jarrell Baby Miller to do it.
Right, that would be...
That's a tough fight. That's a tough fight because remember Jarrell Baby Miller last year in L.A. when he fought Andy Ruiz on the undercard of Crawford Madrimov. Remember that show? Right? It was at the BMO Stadium. Eminem played. Yes. That's where Jared Anderson got knocked out by Martin Bacole. Right? People forget that Andy Ruiz and Jarrell Miller had a war.
Yes, big time war.
So if Moses Itauma knocks out Dillian White, then Turki Al-Sheikh says he's gonna fight on the undercard of Canelo Crawford against Big Baby Miller, and then Moses Itauma beats him in front of 300 global subscribers, bro. Come on,
that'll be wild.
You already know now the Usyk talk's gonna ramp up. They're gonna be like, hey man, this guy fought in 5 weeks, within 5 weeks of each other.
Shout out to Rock in the building. What happened to Andy Ruiz? Which Andy Ruiz? You mean the overweight one that shocked the world and made me 10 grand? Yeah.
Andy Ruiz got a Rock. I'll answer your question. Andy Ruiz had a nice payday when he fought in LA on the Riyadh card. Since that time, I honestly don't know. I mean, it's hard, man, because discipline, you know, me and Professor T have talked about this before. One of the qualities you have to be an elite fighter, whether it's UFC, MMA, or karate, or boxing, or jiu-jitsu, is you have to have discipline, right? You have to have discipline. You can't go in waves, right? You can't one day be like, I'm in the greatest shape of my life, and then the next day be like 80 pounds over it. And I get it, like some of the MMA fans, like Iceman MMA, might go, well, Paddy Pimblett does it. I know, but Paddy Pimblett isn't the champion. Correct. The champion is Ilia Topuria. And I'll guarantee you he can't do that to Ilia Topuria, because Ilia Topuria is knocking everyone out. He knocked out Oliveira. He knocked out Max Holloway. Come on, baby. You can't do that. You can't do that. You got to be in shape. You got to be disciplined. So I don't know, Rock. I think Andy Ruiz probably didn't get an offer because he's not ready, or maybe he's not in shape. That's probably why he's not getting any offers right now. So yeah, that's the answer to that question. But yeah, what do you think about that though? Moses Itauma versus Jarrell Miller, if it happens September 13th on the undercard of Canelo Crawford.
Huge fight. That's a huge fight. I mean, that's a fight in itself. That's a main card fight in itself. I like it. It gives Baby a chance to bounce back, which is definitely needed. He looked like he just got treated like a kid. He just got treated. Well,
this is where we're hurting, and actually I've had this conversation with you before in private, and you know me, Professor T. Anytime any Raider fans who tries to talk to us and tries to tell us, man, boxing's dead, like we don't even recognize them. We just treat them like they're trolls. All right, because they don't know anything about combat sports, so why even bother, right? But I was on Marco's show today, and I was giving him the stat that we have currently, right now, today, 21 born and raised USA American champions, world champions that actually are holding the belt. And Marco did the statistics, and Marco said that is 30% of all current world champions right now. So the fact that we have 30% of the whole belt, that's pretty good.
Right.
So ask yourself that question, Professor T. Why isn't Stephen A. Smith talking about it? Why isn't regular CBS Sports talking about it? Why isn't it on? So that's why I always say I never really blame the American fan base. I blame the media for it.
Right. Well,
if you're not going to talk about Shakur Stevenson, Gervonta Davis, Brian Norman, Devin Haney, you know what? If you're not talking about the American fighters, then how are people supposed to know?
Right. What it is, I think, in a lot of instances, is they're honestly, literally ignorant to the game. How can you talk about something you really don't know? I mean, we've all seen Stephen A. throw punches. Like, I'm not. Hey, Stephen A., you did it to yourself, not me. I didn't put that mess out there. So I mean, nobody's taking any kind of advice or media knowledge from a person that's punching like that. I'm sorry, it's just not going down. That's you know, and they get discouraged, I guess, and you know what I mean. You know, you can blame Joe Rogan. Damn it, everybody goes to Joe in terms of just combat sports, right? Any kind of fighting, and even in boxing, really. He's just become a phenomenon. I love Joe Rogan. FYI.
Oh yeah, absolutely love Joe Rogan. Love Joe Rogan.
But yeah, it's definitely interesting to see how things are very different than definitely in the past. So.
Yeah, but I think that again, that's going to change. And one of the things that you guys have now seen is UFC's free starting 2026 on CBS.
Right.
So that's the same group that's also going to do a boxing for the United States mainstream fan. So I'd like to bring you all back, you youngsters who might not remember. There used to be a thing called USA Network Tuesday Night Fights. Remember that? Yep. You remember that, Professor T? USA Network Tuesday Night Fights with Sean O'Grady.
Yes.
Some of the best fights we've seen was on that card.
Correct.
Or on those nights, right? I think that Dana White's going to bring that back. And we're going to see some good old American boxers who are going to... It's like the UFC. It's like the UFC now, right? Right now, most people, unless you're into MMA, you're not familiar with the UFC Contender Series. And the Contender Series is the fights that you do in order for you to get a contract to get into the UFC. I think they're going to do the same thing. I think they're going to do some kind of Tuesday night fights because Contender Series are on Tuesday nights. So I think they're going to do a Tuesday night fight, and whoever wins those fights gets a contract with Zuffa Boxing. Now again, I don't want to break any NDAs. I'm just telling you that certain things I say on this show, the Knockout Canvas, tend to turn out to be true for some reason. I don't know why that is, Professor T, but they do. All right. So, you know, my sources are okay, I guess. They're okay. But anyhow, so the Saturday, Moses Itauma versus Dillian White. The co-main event is Nick Ball, the 126-pound WBA champ. He's fighting Sam Goodman. So that's a great fight. I expect Nick Ball to win. I'm sure you do too. Yeah, so, but here's a fun one for you, Professor T. Word on the streets are, if Nick Ball wins this and he's, fresh as a daisy, nothing's wrong, his next fight will be a unification versus WBO 126-pound champion Rafael Espinoza. Hey, now check this out. Rafael Espinoza is, I believe, 6'1" at 126 pounds. Okay. Nick Ball, I believe, is 5'3" at 126 pounds. Wow. This will be the battle of the shortest featherweight champion ever versus the tallest featherweight champion ever, and I'm here for it.
Yes, 100%.
Oh,
all about it. I'm all about
that. So hopefully Nick Ball comes out correct this Saturday, and then on the undercard before that is our guy Ray Ford, a former American world champion at 126 pounds. Ray Ford, who has moved up to 130 pounds. Remember last year in Riyadh, Professor T, he had that war with Nick Ball. He lost a split decision. That's how Nick Ball became the 126 champion. And then he moved up to 130. So he's been in a wrecking tear at 130 pounds. He's been beating everyone. So this Saturday, he's fighting Abraham Nova. I expect Raymond Ford, Savage, his nickname is, to beat Abraham Nova. And his next fight, sir, is supposed to be against Eduardo Sugar Nunes, who's the IBF champion. Right. He just beat the Japanese in Japan, so that'll be a banger for later in the year, but he's fighting on the undercard. And then the opener for this Saturday's boxing card, y'all, happens to be the former interim IBF champion Filip Hrgović, the silver medalist heavyweight, versus the Commonwealth heavyweight champion David Adelaide.
Wow.
Now, I'm going to point this out, okay? You were doing a watch party for Usyk Dubois, okay?
Yes.
And the first fight, I'm going to call you out, Professor T. You were watching Dekris
Yes.
versus Sorenko.
Yes.
Sorenko was the favorite. You were sitting there already going, oh, I don't know, man. This is going to be a knockout. Looking like a knockout, everyone. Looking like a knockout.
That guy was the favorite, though. I was against the favorite, and I didn't realize that.
Right.
And it didn't go my way at all. In fact,
And it went the distance.
Yes.
In a really good fight.
Yes.
Dekris caused the upset.
Correct.
All right. So anything can happen. Anything can happen in a heavyweight fight, everyone. Anything could literally happen. So Filip Hrgović versus David Adelaide to start the opening main card is going to be very fun. Hopefully all you guys tune in for that. If you want to follow the Knockout Canvas on Instagram, or you want to follow me at Reyes Boxing on Instagram, I'll send you the link so that you can watch the free portion starting at 10 a.m. Pacific time, 12 p.m. noon Central Standard Time. So that's the first part of Saturday. Unless, of course, you're busy watching the Raiders lose to the 49ers. I'm just going to say it, man. I'm going to say it. You know I'm not very happy with them right now.
I don't know who is, man. It's a tough one.
It's gonna be a hard season. It's gonna be a hard season for us. It's gonna be a hard
season. Very hard.
So UFC 319, Professor T. UFC 319 is this Saturday. Okay. The early preliminary card starts at 3 p.m. in the afternoon Pacific time.
Wow.
So that would be 6 p.m. or no, 5 p.m. your time. Okay. The preliminary cards, which, as you know, is free on ESPN Plus, from what I'm looking at least, unless this card has changed, is they have Karin Silva versus Diony Barboza, Brian Battle versus Nursultan Ruzabov, and Edson Barbosa versus Drakkar Klose. That's the main. That's a good fight. Edson Barbosa versus Drakkar Klose. That's a good fight. Okay.
Right.
That's the early prelims. The preliminary free portion, which is shown on ESPN at 5 p.m. Pacific time, 7 p.m. Central time, is Chase Hooper versus Alexander Hernandez, Jessica Andrade versus Lupe Godinez at strawweight. I could tell you some fun stories about when I was training Jessica Andrade, Professor G. And then at middleweight, you're going to see Gerald Merchart against Michael Olejnik. I can never say his name right, but that's going to be a good fight. And the main event of the preliminary cards is King Bobby Green versus Diego Ferreira.
Hey, that's a good fight. That's another good fight. Bobby.
You already know that'll be a banger. Yeah. Unless you'd rather watch the fourth quarter of the Raiders game. You already know that's a banger. You might want to do a watch party, if I'm being honest with you. So, for the UFC, and then the main card starts at 7 p.m. Pacific time, 9 p.m. Central time. The main event card starts with flyweights Tim Elliott versus Kai Asakura. Man, Kai Asakura is pretty good. Tim Elliott's really good.
I know Kai Asakura, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good fight. That's a good fight. Middleweights at 185 is Jacob Kilburn versus MVP, baby, Michael Venom Page.
I love Michael Venom Page. That's pure entertainment.
That's pure entertainment right there. Then at welterweight, which is 170 pounds, We're going to see Jeff Neal versus Carlos Pratis. That's a good fight. That's a good fight. Now check this one out. I'm going to bring out a name that you may be familiar with, Professor T. The co-main event of UFC 319 at featherweight, 145 pounds, is LaRon Murphy, 16-0, undefeated.
Yeah.
Undefeated versus this kid. When he was coming out of high school, everybody was saying he's going to be the truth. He's going to be the next great thing in MMA.
Right.
And now we're seeing him in the UFC. Aaron Pico, 13 wins, 4 losses.
Yeah, I remember that.
Remember Aaron Pico? Remember that?
Yeah, he
that
got
kid?
a lot of pub.
He was getting a lot of publicity, man. So that's the co-main event. But LaRon Murphy's no joke. You know that, Professor T.
Absolutely.
LaRon Murphy's undefeated for a reason. So we'll see. We'll see what happens that. And then the main event, which is what everybody's waiting to see, the championship for the 185-pound Dricus Duplessis, DDP, as they call him, is fighting Hamzat Chimaev, 14-0, which is also the boogeyman of that division.
Exactly. That's going to be another good one.
So, man, you got boxing starting in the day, UFC closing out at night. Unless you just want to suffer and watch Raiders versus 49ers. It's up to you. It's up to you. It's really up to you, man. You know,
it's definitely going to be a rough one, ladies and gentlemen.
That's what's going on Saturday, which is a pretty fun event. We would be remiss if we didn't, before the show closes, Professor T, do not talk about the fact that Tank Davis is no longer going to go to jail.
Hey.
Right? They dropped charges somehow. And again, by the way, this isn't me and Professor T somehow being okay with domestic violence or anything like that. We don't know what happened. All right. We're not into the business of what's going on in their personal lives.
Nope.
We're just giving you the news that he was supposed to be fighting this weekend against Lamont Roach, which is now looking like it's not going to happen.
Correct.
There's the announcement talks, obviously. Okay. But let me ask you this. If he's really retired, which I told you I don't think he is, but if he's really retired,
right?
Do you think Gervonta Davis had enough of a career to make it into Hall of Fame?
Oh, wow. That's a great, fabulous question. Man, I'll put it to you this way. I don't see him as a first ballot.
Okay. That's fair.
You see what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I don't see him as a first ballot, but that's a tough question, man. I mean, did he do enough?
I don't know. Did he?
I don't know. What do y'all think? I don't think so.
I mean, because you can't even. He's 30 years old, so he retires at a peak, right?
Yeah.
And he never fought Shakur. He never fought Keyshawn Davis.
He didn't fight any of the ones that people want him to fight.
I mean, when you look at his record, like, who did he really fight at their peak? He didn't have that Hagler, Leonard Duran, Pryor, Arguello. There was nothing. There was nothing, right?
Ryan Garcia fight was a gimmick.
Right.
I shouldn't say gimmick, but I mean, he drained him. I mean, you all know what he had. You know what happened that fight.
Right.
He wouldn't have won it. I'm just saying,
Too many restrictions.
Right. Too many restrictions. Yeah, it's just not. Yeah.
Wasn't a fair fight. So, okay. Now, here's I'm just going to throw it out there, all right? Again, I'm not breaking any NDAs. Okay? I'm just saying I hear things is all I'm trying to say.
Right.
Manny Pacquiao, everyone, is making a comeback fight again.
Hey.
After Mario's fight happened, Manny Pacquiao's next date is December 27th. Wow. Mark it down on your calendars. He is fighting right after Christmas. He's going to give out some Christmas gifts to all his kids and some of the other ones that might not be with Manny Pacquiao. I'm just messing around.
I know.
But he'll be giving out all the gifts, and then he'll be fighting someone. And rumor has it, if Gervonta Tank Davis is just leaving the division, okay, and the WBA becomes vacant, okay, right? Word is Tank Davis versus Manny Pacquiao, December 27th. Now, let me ask you that, sir. If Tank Davis has to move up to even 140, 142 catch weight, 144 to fight 46-year-old Manny Pacquiao, do you like it? Do you not like it?
I don't like it. I think Manny Pacquiao could dangerously get hurt. I'm going to just keep it a bean. I mean, you're talking. Tank probably going to be packing his largest punch at that weight. And he knows he's got to win that fight by knockout. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you.
Unless he's retiring and just that's the bag he's happy with. You know, and that's the only way that's going to work out that way.
Now, do you believe that based on how Manny Pacquiao looked against Mario Barrios, that Pacquiao couldn't take him 12?
No. Not
really?
Not Gervonta. Barrios. I was never really a big, huge fan of Barrios either. I think he was very opportunistic when he had the fights that he had received, however they got there. And he's never really showed, right? He's never really shined when he had his time to shine and step up. So, I mean, the bright lights 100% got him that fight. There was no question everybody knew the bright lights. I mean, the first few rounds, he pretty much gave him away. So
okay. All right. So, you're not buying that one then. You're saying, if you're selling me that, I'm not buying it.
I'm scared for his health, bro. I mean, you're talking, you know what I say? That's not, man, I don't know. You don't play boxing, bro. One of these, and you know what I mean? For all we know, that's why George Foreman passed away, God rest his soul, sooner than later, because of that Moore fight. You know what I mean? Or whatever other fight that was way over his, time frame, man. And I just, if Pacquiao catch the wrong punch, man, it's over. And we all know that.
Okay.
You know, right? Think about it. We all, at that age, come on, man.
I mean, we don't want to see anyone getting hurt. That's for sure.
Nobody getting hurt like that. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Why put somebody, the reflexes aren't there, right? They're not, I mean, and we're talking a prime Tank, bro. 30 years old, prime.
Right.
And he's moving up in weight on top of it, and who knows how that's going to carry in terms of his punch. You have to assume it's going to be more powerful. I just don't like it.
Right. Okay, that's fair. I see Rock. Hey, Rock, pretty soon we're not going to be showing this on the Ultimate Raider Fan 32, so we'd appreciate it if you could please come to the Knockout Canvas and subscribe, sir. We would really appreciate that on YouTube. If you can come over to the Knockout Canvas.
Hey, shout out to the people that actually supported the Knockout Canvas tonight, man. We got over 1,200 views. We've had over 50 people watching at one point in time, so this was
this is great. This is great. Not quite done yet, because I was going to segue into this one. So you said you don't want to see old legendary boxers get themselves hurt.
No,
can you please explain to me, Professor T, why is Andre Ward running his mouth talking about fighting Anthony Joshua?
It makes no sense. Money. Maybe he needs the cash.
Does he though?
No,
he doesn't look like he's poor, man.
Nah, he's not. He's not. And he doesn't need the money. He may want the money. I mean, hey, everybody, 15, 20 mil, right? I mean, hey, because that's what Turk is pushing out there. So, I mean, it's tempting to everybody, man. That's really the harsh reality.
Fight Anthony Joshua, bro.
Makes sense. Yeah, he's trying to get himself hurt. He's trying to get himself hurt, bro. It's not a fair fight.
I mean, it's almost like people forgot the highlight of Anthony Joshua knocking out Francis Ngannou.
Right.
Remember that?
Right. Ngannou.
Right? We're not talking about like some chump. That's Francis Ngannou. He was the UFC heavyweight champ. At one point, he was the baddest man on the planet. And Anthony Joshua folded him like a chair, bro. Like, that was not, come on. What are we doing, Andre? What are we doing?
I don't know what he's doing.
41 years old, Professor T. He's 41 years old, and he's talking about, if he's going to come back and fight, then it's got to be something worth it for legacy. So he wants to fight in Wembley Stadium against Anthony Joshua. What are we talking about? So now let me ask you this then. Now, Eddie Hearn has confirmed from 2 days ago,
right,
that he is in New York. He's talking a lot of different business with Turkey. And it is very real that Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua may happen.
Wow.
Very real. Very real. So let me ask you this question just as a boxing aficionado yourself, Professor T. Would you rather see Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua or Andre Ward versus Anthony Joshua?
Obviously, Andre Ward, 100%.
Really?
Oh, for sure.
Really?
Because now you
don't think it's going to end the same?
No, I don't. No, I don't think it'll end the same. I think that Anthony Joshua will have a harder time with, the son of God.
You think so? Really?
I do, yeah, because of the way he fights. He's always...
Really? I mean, he hasn't fought since he was 33. That's been 8 years.
But he's always been a defensive-minded, safe fighter, too, though. You know what I mean? And Jake Paul has never fought anybody. So he's just going to come in and bulldoze through him. But I don't think he'd try to do that, knowing that, hey, man, he's been knocked out a few times himself. And... you always got a puncher's chance. You know what I'm saying?
Wow, this is crazy. Okay.
I'm saying he's still going to win the fight, and he's probably still going to knock him out, but it'll be in the late rounds. If he fights Jake Paul, he'll knock him out in the first quarter of the fight. So
wow. Okay, let me ask you this then. This is going to be an older question. Remember when Roy Jones Jr. moved up from light heavyweight to heavyweight and he beat John Ruiz?
Yeah.
Do you think that the heavyweight version of Roy Jones Jr. who beat John Ruiz would have had a chance with the Lennox Lewis that was fighting at that time?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely.
And that was prime Roy Jones Jr.
God, no.
That's prime Roy.
No.
So then what makes you think an old...
I don't even know if he would have beat a prime Ruiz.
Okay. That's a very fair statement.
Exactly, because that kid, not kid, but...
You know what we know what you're saying. A prime Ruiz at that time, because a lot of people gave him a lot of slack, but I always defend him, and I always say he was a legit, he was small. He was a small heavyweight, but
one of the smallest heavyweights of all time.
But I always say they don't just give you the belt. You know what I mean? Like, he legitimately won that. Like, so you can't take it away from him. Can't take it away from John Ruiz. So okay. But with that same way of thinking, Professor T, why do you think Andre Ward, who has not fought in 8 years, who was 175?
Because he's a heavily defensive fighter. Always has been. And he's still going to have the quickness advantage, right? He's still going to have the footwork and movement advantage. He's still in decent shape. You know what I mean? He hasn't let himself go. So that's why, I mean, like, I've been watching him on all the commentators. And,
right.
He still looks like he's in the ring. I mean, in fact, he was in the ring with Terrence Crawford. Wasn't he just in the ring recently with Terrence Crawford?
Come on, but that's just helping him out, man. That's
what I mean is his physique.
Okay.
He's not out of shape. That's what I'm trying to say. He's not.
Right.
He didn't let himself go. So these are the reasons why I believe he would absolutely last. Much longer than a Jake Paul, who's never seen a real punch a day in his life.
All right. Okay. Well, you know what my theory is on this? My theory is that the reason why Andre Ward all of a sudden, out of the blue, spoke up about this is I think that if Anthony Joshua decides not to fight Jake Paul,
right,
what you're going to hear is Matchroom versus Queensberry, 5 versus 5 in December. And the main event will be Anthony Joshua versus former gold medalist Tony Yoka, who just signed with Queensberry.
Okay.
All right. Which means Jake Paul's got to have an opponent. And I think you're going to hear Jake Paul get on social media and go, Andre Ward, you're running your mouth about how it wouldn't have been a real fight between me and Joshua. Well, why don't you and I fight each other?
Bro, I would love to see Andre Ward fight Jake Paul. I would love to see that.
Now, do you believe that would be a real fight, or do you think Andre Ward would let it go the distance?
I would hope Andre Ward would knock him out, but I don't know, man. I mean, he doesn't have the size advantage on Jake Paul. Jake Paul is bigger.
Oh yeah, Jake Paul is bigger.
He's a lot bigger. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I still
41 years old now. Jake Paul's only 27.
Right. I would definitely still expect Son of God to knock him out.
All right. Okay. All right.
And I think he would do it in the late rounds. I think he would, want to drown him in dirty waters. He'd want to pull a Mayweather on him. You know what I mean? Make him pay. That's yeah.
Right.
That's what I would expect.
Right.
Like McGregor, right? He just drug him into them last few rounds. It was so bad, and I mean, he knew exactly what he was doing if he knew. Like,
yeah, no, well, yeah, that was bad. That was that was terrible. Well, to end the show, then, I think it's only right, since we're not going to be back until next week, Wednesday, unless you decide to do some kind of watch party of some sort.
Yeah,
but we have to mention this because it's always tragic when we hear about this. Yeah. On August 2nd, which was 2 Saturdays ago, there was a Japanese card that was happening called U-Next. Okay. Right. And the main event was for the 130-pound OPBF, which is the Oriental Pacific Boxing Championship belt. If you watch the fight, you guys can find it on YouTube, or like I said, you can follow me at Reyes Boxing on Instagram. I'll send it to you. When you watch it, it doesn't look like anything terrible really happened during the fight. Right. Shortly after the match was done, Shigetoshi Kotari was rushed to the hospital for a brain surgery. Right. And unfortunately, he passed away last week, Thursday. That was a 28-year-old young man, and we hear about this all too often. If one death is more than one, that's too much already. Okay, in our sport, and this is where I always say I want to give respect to boxers, because boxing is the only sport other than race car driving where you hear about the athletes dying. Okay, but that happened. But something that in our lifetime I don't remember, unless you want to tell me you remember this ever happening, Professor T. 2 fighters from that same card died. Right. No. Okay. There was another young man who was fighting an 8-round fight. Again, if you want to see the replay of that, if you watch it, again, it doesn't look like any more of a fight than what we just saw between Regis Prograis versus Jojo Diaz. You know what I mean? Like, looks like what a boxing match would look like. Okay. And yet this young man, Mr. Urakawa, he gets rushed to the hospital for the same a different hospital for the same type of brain surgery, and he passed away on Sunday. So 2 deaths from the same card. Both of these young men were both 28 years old. Wow, man. That's young. That's rough. That's rough. That's way rough. And like what we always say here on the Knockout Canvas, man, you don't play boxing. It's the only sport that you do not play. And that's why we also don't like to really badmouth or talk badly about any boxers, because they are putting their lives on the line for our entertainment. In the ring. Every time they step in the ring. Every time they step in there, and anything can happen, which is the reason why I keep saying to everyone, there wasn't anything dramatic that happened in these fights. Right. There wasn't like where you go, oh no, they should stop this right now. Right. None of that. it looked like what you just saw on regular fights, but punches don't tickle, and these guys are not wearing pads. All right. And we've seen a lot. I mean, Sugar Ray Leonard had his retina torn during a fight. So again, everybody's human, and these type of things happen. So prayers to the Qatari and the Urakawa family, and prayers to everybody who loved them and appreciated them. And I just hope, and I'm sure you do too, Professor T, that the Japanese boxing commission can figure this out, man.
Right.
I don't know what caused it. There's a lot of theories out there, my friend. They're saying maybe it was weight cutting is too much.
Right.
Which I was actually in a card in Asia where I unfortunately witnessed a Chinese fighter in MMA trying to make the weight cut, and then he got rushed to the hospital and he died, Professor T. So that was rough. I wasn't a part of the team. I was just like with my own eyes. I was watching the coach like walking him to lose weight. So I was like, this is insane.
Right.
So that could be a possibility. Maybe it's also another theory is the Japanese fighting style is very, very samurai-like. Like they like, you just saw what happened to Jin Sasaki. Brian Norman knocked him out and he didn't remember 6 weeks, right? But but he was coming forward is what we're saying, Professor T. Like there's no backing up from this guy. He wanted to just come in forward. So maybe the Japanese style needs to worry about that. Maybe the sparring's too hard, right? We don't know what's happening on the behind the scenes, Professor T. Maybe they're sparring too much. Maybe there should be like a kind of like in the NFL. Isn't there like a rule where you can't let the players practice a certain way? So maybe there needs to be like a cutoff rule for sparring.
Yeah. Hopefully they figure it out, like you say, though.
Yes, sir. So anyways, prayers to them. Thank you, Professor T. That was a great 90-minute show.
Awesome show.
Thank you, everyone, for man. We really peaked out. You said what was the high? Well, where were we at on our peak?
We had over 50 some odd people at once. Yeah,
for YouTube, and then it was like 1,000 or 1,200 or something.
We got over 1,200. We got 1,400.
Wow,
views.
That's fantastic for episode 5. I love it. I love it. So thank you so much, everybody. We really appreciate everybody who's participating. Thank you to all you guys who also came on all the different platforms on the channel. Please follow us on Instagram, the Knockout Canvas. We're working on getting that put together. Follow us on X. Follow us on TikTok. Follow us on YouTube. Follow the Ultimate Raider Fan 32 on all platforms, and follow me at Reyes Boxing on Instagram.
All right, we are out of here. Peace.